Breaking Bad, one of the best TV shows ever made, a masterclass in writing and a study on the human soul, might just be the only business school you need.
You're goddamn right.
Here are the top 10 business lessons from Breaking Bad. Slight spoilers ahead. Rule number 1, have a sense of urgency. Walter White may have lived out the rest of his sorry life without doing anything of it if it wasn't for the sudden news of his impending death.
You understood what I've just said to you?
Yes. Lung cancer. Inoperable.
It was his diagnosis of cancer in a tight timeline that really prompted him to get his act together in order to leave something behind for his family. How often do we let our responsibilities, our assignments we need to complete, our goals we want to accomplish, just sit in the back of our mind because they don't need to happen right now? You know when you have a 10-page essay due midnight and you realize that at 8 p.m. and suddenly you're the most productive person in the world? What if we lived our whole lives like that? What if everything we needed to do we just did, quickly and efficiently? Our whole lives would change. There is nothing like an empty stomach that will move a man to accomplish greatness. Or in Walt's case, nothing like getting a cancer diagnosis that will push him to cook meth. So, have a sense of urgency. Rule number 2, know your strengths. Walter was one of the world's best chemists, in his mind being wasted as a high school chem teacher. But when he saw the opportunity to make a product that would sell, and sell very well, he quickly saw that he had the perfect set of skills.
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
He knew his strengths. This, however, also opened his eyes to his weaknesses. So he partnered with someone, Jesse Pinkman, to fill in for his weaknesses.
But you know the business, and I know the chemistry.
In life, we need to keep our eyes open, not only to what our skill sets are, but what they're good for. How can you best, most optimally monetize what you are good at? So, know your strengths and know how best to monetize them. Unless your skills are making meth, maybe don't do that, all you chemistry teachers out there. Looking at you, Mr. Diaz. Number 3, shoot for perfection. Walter is a control freak. We see this through the show. If his final result is not up to his standards, he throws it out, starts over.
This is unacceptable.
There's something admirable about being so adamant about producing only the best that you can.
We can do better.
Don't turn in subpar work, even for small things. This lesson applies to everything, from homework assignments to YouTube videos. Do the best work that you can. Shoot for perfection. You won't reach it. There's this quote I really like that says, perfection is the enemy of good. Because a good product can sometimes be better than a product not released because it's not perfect. You can't do perfect. If Walter had been waiting around to produce 100% pure meth, actually, that would have been pretty good for the world. But he would never have done anything. Anyway, even though he was shooting for perfection, he didn't let the fact that it wasn't perfect stop him from acting. So, find a balance, but always shoot for perfection. Going off of that, rule number 4, build a unique brand. After switching his recipe, quite by necessity actually, more than a strategic decision, he ended up with his signature baby blue. This brand propelled him higher than he ever thought was possible. Everyone wanted some of that baby blue, to the point where his competitors were dyeing their meth blue to mark it up and try to trick their customers.
You dye your meth with food coloring to make it look like mine.
That's how you know you made it, when you have fake copycats copying your far superior product. But it really speaks to the power of branding. Yes, his customers would have brought his meth regardless of the color, but the fact that his had a signature blue tint only helped to build brand loyalty. Yes, even amongst meth heads. So build a strong brand, but focus on quality first. Next, we'll skip all that legal stuff. There's no margins on it, too much competition. Cook meth instead. I made a mistake. Good meth. Rule number 5, build a team. Like I said before, Walter recognized his strengths, but he also recognized his weaknesses. He knew he had no experience selling meth, or distributing it, or being a criminal, really.
You may know a lot about chemistry, man, but you don't know jack about slinging dope.
So he partnered with Jesse.
I'm out there making fat stacks, man, chill.
Later, when he realized that Jesse wasn't selling all the product he was producing,
I thought you'd be ready for another pound today.
he looked for a distributor.
Yes, that's what we need. We need a distributor now. Do you know anyone like that?
Tuco, for as long as that lasted.
Booyah!
When he needed legal help and money laundering services, he called.
It's all good, man.
When he was looking for high quality educational information about real estate and business, he subscribed to got.property. When he needed. Actually, we'll get to Gus Fring in a little bit. My point is, he knew he couldn't do everything himself, and he recognized that a smaller piece of a bigger pie was better than 100% of no pie at all. Rule number 6, perfect distribution. Distribution. This part of the business process had been out of Walter's control for too long. Jesse was too slow.
How much meth did you sell?
Nearly an ounce?
Tuco was too violent and unpredictable. And when he tried to take control of distribution by having Jesse build a small team in order to keep more of the revenue, he quickly realized that he didn't have the infrastructure, the size, or the manpower for that to be viable. In comes the chicken man, Gus Fring himself. A way to distribute high, and I mean high, amounts of meth all over the US, but it wasn't yet perfect. Gus, although organized, professional, and cool-headed most of the time, he didn't have control. He was simply an employee, earning $3 million while Gus earned $97.
$3 million for 3 months of your time.
Throughout the show, however, we see that distribution is always highlighted as being a key aspect in a successful business. Whether you do it yourself and vertically integrate in order to keep more control, or you hire it out to a company that's more well established. A good example is a person selling products online. He could go one of 2 routes. One, he could make his own website, create his own payment platform, and deliver it himself, or he could just use Amazon's website, sell it there, use their payment processor or PayPal, and then have FedEx deliver it. One is not necessarily better than the other, but perfecting your own distribution strategy is essential. Rule number 7, expand. A contentious topic inside the Walter residence. Should he keep growing, expanding, or just relax and spend time with the family? Come on, this is Walter White, Heisenberg. Relaxing isn't part of his vocabulary. Early in the show, he recognized opportunity due to the increased demand for his superior product and chooses to expand into other territories.
Stay out of my territory.
After he cornered the market and had taken out competition, he is able to increase his prices and set the conditions. Later, after he takes down Gus, he even chooses to expand into international markets, recognizing that a shark that stops swimming drowns. Speaking of taking down Gus, rule number 8, take down competition. Leave nothing to chance. Competition is good. Rivalries can push you to be better, but it can be dangerous for the health of the company or your family.
I will kill your infant daughter.
After that, Walter realized that the world was really only big enough for one of them, so he takes him out. In the same way, I'm sure Coke would sleep better at night if Pepsi wasn't constantly trying to take more of the market. So try to keep your competitive place in the market, and maybe don't kill anyone. Lesson 9, build an empire.
I'm in the empire business.
Like I said, he's not the type to chill out. Sacrifice is needed for greatness. Walt had an incredible ability to see the world for what it could be. His. Big visionary, that guy. You may have to do some soul searching here to see what you want out of life, what motivates you, what your ambitions are, and to see how far you're willing to let them take you.
We're done when I say we're done.
And finally, lesson 10, family. Again, keep your priorities straight. Learn this lesson from his failure to do so. Don't lose your soul, don't lose your morals, don't lose your family.
We're a family!
Know what you're fighting for. Make sure it's not self-serving.
I did it for me. I liked it.
Live a life of sacrifice for the betterment of your family, community, country, and the whole world. As always, thank you for watching. Go build your empire, make the world a better place while you're at it, and make sure to subscribe while you're at it too.